Nebraska Republican Representative Mike Flood recently held a town hall, and it went very, very poorly. During this town hall, Flood was subjected to jeers and tough questions, which, led to people yelling, of course, and chanting things like Free Palestine, BOOS, tax the rich, hell yes, and vote him out. Here's some of the highlights from this town hall.
Why did you cut SNAP and healthcare research?
We do not have unlimited money in the United States. And more than anything, I truly believe this bill protects Medicaid for the future.
My question is fiscal. With $450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and $600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Next slide, please. No taxes on overtime.
That was fun to watch. I enjoyed that. But here's the thing, right? I know the response to this is going to be, at some point, they're going to be like, paid agitators, George Soros, Democrats are paying the people to show up. No. Now, that said, the Democratic Party did urge people to show up. And so that's probably a result. Nobody got paid, though. That's not how that works. Nobody gets paid in the Democratic Party unless you're like a super rich consultant. Okay? I'm just saying. But this is what opposition from actual human beings sounds like. Now, the other thing is, why did Mike Flood win by 20 points in his election? That is a good question. He ran in a very pro-Trump district that has been gerrymandered all to hell. You also, of course, had voter apathy. You had a special election to replace Jeff Fortenberry, or Jeff Fartenberry, as I like to call him, who resigned his seat in disgrace after he was caught lying to federal officials about taking illegal campaign contributions. So that's it. That's your Republican Party in Nebraska. Okay. So look, this guy, I mean, he's in a district that is very pro-Trump, and yet he keeps running into some very hostile town halls, which is always fun. Now, his answer, by the way, on the issue of ICE that woman had asked, it was pretty bad. He said Americans went to the polls in November, and they had a choice between a Democratic candidate that had an open border, really, no enforcement, fentanyl, drugs, human trafficking, and they had a choice between that and a candidate that said close the border, get illegal immigrants out of this country, stop the fentanyl, stop the human trafficking, stop the drugs, stop the crime, stop the violence. And that's what Americans voted for. Stop the crime. Our president's a literal criminal. He's got 34 felonies. So, I mean, come on. Stop the crime. Stop the violence. Oh, yeah. You pardon the January 6ers, who are all about violence. Okay. Stop the human trafficking. You were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. And it looks like you're about to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, who helped sex trafficking. I'm just saying. Not what Americans voted for. All of that was a lie. And by the way, the idea that the Democratic Party is open borders is such bullshit. And let me tell you why. I want open borders. I like open borders. I believe in the human freedom of movement. Yes. I believe that humans should be able to go wherever they want to go. I know, and live there. That's crazy, right? Whoa. But I can tell you, from my perspective, Democrats are very restrictive on the border. They're almost as restrictive as Republicans are. The thing is, Republicans lie about it constantly. The Democrats' border policy is actually based on what Republicans claim to be in favor of. They actually did deport and keep out criminals. Democrats did that. Now, what the Democrats also did, though, was allow for a little bit of humanitarianism, right? Allowing people to claim asylum from countries that are dealing with, for example, the drug war, rampant poverty, corruption, natural disasters. Take Haitians, for example, okay? Haitians were allowed temporary protected status because Haiti was hit by hurricanes and civil strife. Venezuela, because we don't like their government. Our government doesn't like their government. Now, Haitians came to places like Ohio. And you know what they did there? They revitalized their manufacturing. They took jobs that were open, right? Because there were not enough people living in those towns to fill them. I mean, look, the reason that there weren't enough people is because you had people leaving those small towns in the Rust Belt to go to bigger cities where there are more opportunities. And so Haitians came in and were like, yeah, we'll do those jobs. And they were great workers. And yet our dumb idiot president then accused Haitians of eating the cats and the dogs, which wasn't true at all. Wasn't true at all. Look, the Republican Party, their immigration plan is basically white supremacy and exploitation. That's it. Look, they kick out people who are not white, obviously, and make sure that any of those who are actually left will be an easily exploitable labor force who would be too scared for deportation to stick up for themselves. You know what that does for the average American worker? That actually drives wages down. That's right. It drives wages down. So that's the result here. That's the overall goal, is to drive wages down and to make workers desperate, much more desperate. And again, to advance white supremacy.
The Republican Party's racist.
That's what they are. So now, that said, I'm going to go and show you another video here of the town hall. Let's take a look.
It talks about two big changes to the Medicaid program. One of those changes is that if you are able to work and you are able-bodied, you have to work. If you choose not to work, you do not get free health care. You do not get free health care. Okay. So here's a question. Do you think that people who are 28 years old that can work and refuse to work should get free health care? I don't think that a majority of Nebraskans agree with you.
Now, here's the thing. Healthcare, I believe healthcare is a human right. I believe everyone should have it regardless of their employment status. That's it. Oh, but I don't want to pay for other people's health care. You already do. It's called insurance. That's how insurance freaking works. I mean, that's really it. And people who have insurance pay into a pool. And then when somebody gets hurt or injured, whatever, or sick, it gets paid out. That's it. That's how it works. Okay. Now, here's the thing. The only difference between paying for people's healthcare in a universal healthcare system and our current system now is that the current system enriches insurance CEOs who only act as a block for you getting healthcare. That's the whole point, to be a middleman, to go and decide, ooh, no, I don't think you should have that procedure. I don't think you should get that medication. Why? because it costs me too much money. But you're not the one paying the premiums. We are. We're paying premiums into this pot. And I would like to have medication or procedures or whatever. And I would like to have health care, okay, for what I pay. Yes, but if I give you health care, if I pay for that, then that leaves less money for me to skim off the top to buy another yacht. And I would rather have a yacht. That's how that works. Okay, the Republican Party, with the help of corporate Democrats, have put insurance companies, CEOs, between you and your doctor. This is why. This is why we pay more than anyone else in the developed world for healthcare and prescription drugs, and yet have a lower life expectancy than those other countries. That's it. That's it. That's the reality here. We have a lower health expectancy. We pay more. And that's because insurance companies are pocketing our money and denying us our care. That's it. And now Republicans, by the way, have decided to fix our healthcare system by cutting Medicaid for working people. Yes, for working people. His question isn't even accurate. Oh, you'd be okay with somebody who's 28 years old, not working or refusing to work, getting Medicaid for one? Yes, I actually would be fine with that. But the reality is 64% of all Medicaid recipients already work, while the rest are disabled, they're elderly, or they work as a primary caregiver to a child or a disabled family member. That's it. This is who is affected, okay? This is who is getting their Medicaid cut so that Congress can give tax cuts to rich people. That's all they ever wanted to do, is to give tax cuts to rich people. That's the centerpiece of Republican policy. No wonder, then, that these town halls are going so badly for these Republicans. They voted to pass things that no average person actually wanted. You know what the voters wanted? They wanted the groceries to go down. They wanted inflation to go down. They wanted they wanted border security. But you know what they got instead? Racist and fascist crackdowns on all immigrants. That's what they got. They wanted health care, and they got their Medicaid and Medicare slashed while ensuring that Social Security, the trust fund, will deplete faster. But that's okay. That's exactly what Republicans wanted to do. So they could hand Social Security off to Wall Street, to privatize it. The thing that was so unpopular that George W. Bush couldn't do it, Trump is going to try. Trump is going to try. So, yeah. Look, this is what they got. Okay? This is what they voted for. Ultimately. And you know what? Republicans like Mike Flood will lie to your face. Very openly. Okay? Very brazenly. And the only way to fix that is to get him and every Republican and every corporate Democrat voted out of office. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.